Happy Monday, Saints fans. We got a loaded show to get to today. But before we get to that, got to show some love to Mr. Forgotten, Mr. Reliable, and the OG number 12, Marcus Colston. It is his birthday as well as Pete Werner. So if you want to show him some love, feel free to comment his jersey number down below. But we got to show some love to a Saints legend and Marcus Colston, the all-time leading wide receiver for the franchise. I mean, this dude is a dog. He was a key piece to all of the Saints' success in the mid-2000s, and he is one of the players that turned me into a Saints fan, so I want to show him some love by typing 12 down in the comment section. I hope you do the same. Without further ado, let's break down some Saints news and rumors. Alrighty, guys, before we break down today's news and rumors, obviously show some love to, Marcus Colston, Pete Werner in the comment section, but also hit me up on Twitter if you guys want more NFL news, rumors, buzz, and stuff. I chirped Dob Kleiman on Twitter today because why not? It's pretty funny to do that. So if you guys want to see the fun, you guys want to be a part of the action, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TraceJard48. The link will be in the comment section and description of this video. But let's stop messing around and let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about trading James Hurst, because Bleacher Report actually recently put out an article that suggested the Saints trade away offensive lineman James Hurst. But my question is, does it actually make sense? And when you take a look at the depth chart, just to kind of set the scene for you, I want you guys to see why the Saints may be better off going and getting a player or trading away a player like James Hurst, because I'm a firm believer that with a guy like Trevor Penning, you invested in, you went and added to that offensive line in the last year's draft. He's a key player that is a quality piece, and he adds a lot of, zest. He adds a little extra punch to it. He plays with a lot of swagger, plays with a lot of energy, plays with a lot of anger. But at the end of the day, maybe it makes sense to trade away James Hurst. And here's what Bleacher Report had to say. With Penning set to take over on the left side, New Orleans should seriously consider trading James Hurst, who started 36 games for the Saints over the last 3 seasons, while he could be a valuable depth piece. He's also 31 years old, and he's entering the final year of his current contract. And because of New Orleans' prosperity for kicking or propensity, I went to Arkansas. Don't yell at me, guys. Sorry. I don't know these words. Because of New Orleans' propensity for kicking contract dollars down the road, not a Ponzi scheme, the Saints are projected to be $77.3 million over the cap next offseason. Retweet if you're not scared, because I'm not. It's virtually impossible to see a scenario in which James Hurst returns, and trading him now would save the New Orleans Saints $5.5 million in 2023 for their cap space. And so just kind of as a whole, my take on this, my thoughts on this, it definitely brings up an interesting argument. I really do believe that Bleacher Report suggested some good ideas here. But when you look at this depth chart, I think Trevor Penning, he's obviously your franchise guy. You invested here. If he's healthy, he's coming off that Liz Frank injury. He's a guy that should have a very high expectation. But on the opposite side of the field, or on the opposite side of the line, Ryan Ramczyk, he's one of the best right tackles in the game of football. Storm Norton, you got Landon Young, you got Lewis Kidd, as well as your tackles. Nick Saldiveri does add a little bit of depth there because he can play all over the offensive line, but I don't expect him to do a lot at the tackle position. So just to kind of set the scene, here's the depth chart, here's how things are rolling, and I'm going to get into why I think it actually makes sense to trade him away and why I think Trevor Penning is poised for a big season. But guys, it's a Who Dat Nation. It's not a Who Dat State. It's not a Who Dat City. It's a Who Dat Nation. So I need you to let me know. At the end of the day, it's also a global fan base, so it should be, Who Dat Worldwide. Shout out Prestige Worldwide. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. So shout out your city. Let me know where you're at. I am from the beautiful city of Dallas, Texas. Grew up out here. Our Chat Sports studios are here in Dallas, Texas. So please let us know where you're at and shout out your city, shout out your hometown, because I love to see where you guys are from. All right, so for PFF, in terms of a stat comparison, when you look at the PFF grades, Trevor Penning, he only played in 124 snaps. He had limited snaps because he was dealing with those injuries last season. He had a 73.6 overall PFF grade. Now, this is where it's kind of ugly. The pass blocking grade is atrocious. It is abysmal, and it is uglier than your ex-girlfriend. That being said, that run blocking grade looks a lot better, and it's about as attractive as the hot girl in high school at the prom. At 80.2, that run blocking grade is phenomenal. He didn't allow a sack. Again, very limited reps. He played in a lot of run blocking packages more so than anything. Had 2 penalties with his 124 snaps, so that is worth mentioning. Overall grade for James Hurst, you guys can read it, 63.2 overall grade, 76.6 pass rush grade, a run blocking grade of a 48.2. So if you look at it, you see James Hurst better pass blocker, Trevor Penning better run blocker. James Hurst did give up 5 sacks and 5 penalties last season, and I do believe this. I think Trevor Penning could have a breakout season. I think he is has the potential and he has the ability to be a breakout player because he is a quality football player. You just got to hone in the aggression. You got to channel the skills. You got to rile it all up. You got to, bring it here and push it here, not all over the other place. You got to take the energy. You got to take the aggression and the force that he brings to an offensive line and just hone it in and clean it up. Because reports are saying that Trevor Penning has been at practices. He hasn't been a participant at OTAs. Again, they're voluntary, so don't, even if he wasn't there, don't overread into it too much. But he has been active with drills in the offensive line. He's been mimicking and shadowing movements and stuff. He's been doing a lot of things in order to still be able to develop his game while still maintaining or improving his health and getting back to being 100%. And the reports are also saying that he should be ready to go for training camp. So I want you guys to tell me this. Would you trade James Hurst? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I need you to take everything we just talked about. And you talk about Trevor Penning and how good of a player he is. However, he isn't a great pass blocker. So if there's a development there, if there's a lack of development there, maybe bringing him back would make James Hurst back would make some sense, and just for this season, if you will. But I want you to let me know, Who Dat Nation. You tell me, type Y for yes, type in for no. And while you're down there, subscribe to stay informed on all things around Saints football. We're talking birthdays, we're talking news, we're talking rumors, we're talking legal updates, we're talking all sorts of stuff. So help us hit 15,000 subscribers. We're just under 200 away. Lock us in. Subscribe today. Turn on your notifications. And by the way, if you ain't subscribed, you're a Falcons fan, and that is unacceptable. All right, so let's get into Marcus Maye and the news around him, because this is kind of the polarizing thing and the biggest storyline around the New Orleans Saints. And like I just said, if you're going to subscribe, we're going to provide you with all updates around the New Orleans Saints, including this one. So Marcus Maye does have a new court date for his pending DUI charge. That happened in 2021 when he was with the New York Jets. The court date is set for July 25th, which, interesting enough, is 6 days before Alvin Kamara's court date of July 31st for the Las Vegas incident that happened during the Pro Bowl weekend last year. So just to kind of set the scene, for some context here, if you are unfamiliar with this situation on Marcus Maye and the legal issue that's looming around him right now, Marcus Maye is accused of hitting a woman's car and injuring her as a result. He did the woman, she filed suit in a civil court 2 years ago. Now, the woman's attorney filed a victim's motion for a speedy trial in the criminal case. And I'm going to get into some more reports and some more updates that are around that coming in from Catherine Terrell of ESPN. But before we get to there, I need you to do me a favor. And you know what I'm going to ask you to do. Go pick up a jersey, because our guys in the black and gold, they got the cleanest uniforms in the NFL. I mean, look at this jersey. You can't tell me there's another jersey that's better in the NFL than the Saints Color Rush. It is a beautiful jersey. It's a beautiful uniform. I absolutely love it. I need you guys to go get a jersey with chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. I'm about to order my Chris Olave jersey. I'm getting it after this next paycheck hits at the end of the month. And man, I cannot wait. It's going to be clean, it's going to be icy, and it's going to be fresh, and I'm getting mine with this link down below, and I encourage you to do the same. It'll be available in the comment section and the description of this video. So as promised, to Catherine Terrell and some updates coming in about the Marcus Maye legal situation. She reports in that filing, when, the filing of the the criminal case, to speed it up and have a speedy trial in the criminal case. In that filing, her lawyers argued that the case had already continued 13 times over 2 years. They said that Maye's 2022 arrest for aggravated assault with a firearm, violated his pre-trial release conditions and was never brought up in court. And those charges were dropped in March, in case you didn't know that. So some more from Catherine Terrell. Her lawyers, the woman who sued for the DUI, whose car got hit, just for context, her lawyers have recently filed a motion to compel Maye to give a deposition in the civil case. Maye's argument in March was that doing so would put him in the position of, quote, having to choose between jeopardizing his defense of either the criminal case or the civil case. And then here's a little bit more from Catherine Terrell, last update around this. There will be a hearing on July 6th to discuss the motion to compel Maye to give a deposition in the case. So as for Marcus Maye, that's the context on it. That's kind of the legal update. He did plead not guilty to this situation. And then in last season, just kind of getting away from the legal stuff, that's that. To get it back to football and relate it back to the game, Marcus Maye is your starting safety, 60 tackles last season, no interceptions, but he is a player that did well. He did well. He didn't do as well last season as he did in 2021 with the New York Jets. However, he fills a position of need that you don't have a ton of depth at. Now, I understand you have Jonathan Abram and Smoke Monday on that roster. Smoke Monday should be ready to go. If he makes the roster, he is a safety out of Auburn. I know a lot of Saints fans are high on, including me. You did draft Jordan Howden this season, or this past NFL draft, and I think that he is an intriguing player to help if Marcus Maye does face a suspension. And I don't think that any of this will deter the Saints' practice plan or what's going on with during OTAs and during training camp, because at the end of the day, right now it's business as usual. Until then, you just keep doing what you're doing, keep preparing how you would prepare, and if a suspension comes, you deal with that as it comes and hits you. But I think that Marcus Maye is a key piece of this secondary. He is a guy who, next to Tyrann Mathieu, can do a lot, and I'm not 100% sold on I'm not sold, and I don't have a ton of reason to believe that Jordan Howden is ready to take, free safety one snaps at the NFL level. I'm not saying he can't, but right now I don't think that he is ready, but that doesn't mean he can't be. So guys, I want you to do me a favor. We talked a lot about the depth chart, or the secondary depth chart. We talked a lot about the safety room, but who's your favorite player on the Saints defense currently? As a whole, overall, it's wham, bam, thank you, Cam, for me. I love Cameron Jordan. I'm a huge fan of Cam Jordan. He's been a cornerstone piece. He will forever be a Saints legend, and I think that he will go down in history as one of the greatest New Orleans Saints of all time. But you also have intriguing players like Alontae Taylor. You got Marshawn Lattimore, in case you forgot. He is a dog. He is incredible. You have Demario Davis. I mean, there's a lot of intriguing players on that defense. So let me know, who is your favorite player on the Saints defense? And without further ado, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful evening. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you tomorrow.